Jesse Lee Peterson.
Racism is not an individual personality fault.
It doesn't exist, man.
You do
That's
not
dumb.
opt out of you do not opt out of
That is
racism.
dumb.
All white people benefit from and participate in racism. So I want to make sure we are clear.
What you're saying
Racism is not about individual white people
but what you're
choosing to
saying
hate
is
blacks.
a lie.
Racism.
The race bait
Oh my God.
page. So
Woo! Top 5 of the 21st century in no order, because they all equally guilty. Charles Barkley.
A lot of people in that environment were mad at me because I support the cops, which I do. But that doesn't mean they don't do things wrong.
You said you rode with the police and you had a conversation with them, and it takes them only a split second to make a decision. Tell me why it took 15 to 20 minutes to beat my son to death.
we're gonna go through the list. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that video, but that's a while ago. Charles Barkley, he went on some tour to talk to communities because Charles Barkley was seen as a coon in a lot of ways. So he went to a lot of these black communities. I don't want to watch the whole video, but I just wanted to get the
Mike check.
Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Jesse Lee Peterson.
Racism is not an individual personality fault.
It doesn't
of white
exist,
people.
man.
You do
That's
not
dumb.
opt out of you do not opt out
That
of
is
racism.
dumb.
All white people benefit from and participate in racism. So I want to make sure we are clear.
What you're saying
Racism is not about individual white people
but what you're
choosing to
saying
hate
is
blacks.
a lie.
Racism.
the race baiting, bro. The race baiting. This is and the reason why I'm showing this is because it's so easy to jump on camera and convince people who have already embraced the victimhood that the Democrats have pushed, that a lot of other groups have pushed as well. It's so easy to throw that word racism out there and get people's attention and give people an excuse or reason, just like the gentleman in the previous video was talking about, as to why you are not in the place where you believe that you should be, could be, would be, whatever. It's very easy to appeal to a group of people like that because that is what comforts people. That's the soft pillow that you'll allow people to lay their head on to rest comfortably, knowing that, well, convincing themselves that the reason why they're not ahead in life is because of outside factors that are out of their control. Meanwhile, the number one difference is having a father in the household. Simple, having a family structure, 2-parent household. That's what the statistics show. So instead, we'll get a Dr. Umar, and the reason why I'm on Dr. Umar so much is because I got caught up in this as well. He's a very engaging, dynamic speaker, engaging personality to where you can get caught up in a lot of his message. But the problem is now that his actions have been exposed and him actually not living by the same things he preaches when he calls out black men and saying we're not there for the black woman and we're not raising our kids, and you're doing the exact same thing, but yet you jump on camera and the first thing that you talk about, or the main thing that you're talking about, is racism. Okay, there's racism. Okay. So we've established that the number one factor in a child, giving the child the best chance to be successful, a boy or a girl, is having a 2-parent household and a father in the household. And to be totally honest, the numbers, based on some of the numbers that I've seen, it's really the father in the household. I'm just by the numbers in certain ways, but I stand on 2-parent household. That's what I'm going to say for now. The 2-parent household. With that being said, if that's the number one factor in giving a kid the opportunity to be successful in life, how can you jump on and talk about racism? What part of racism is preventing Dr. Umar from being in his daughter's life? Now, we can sit here and say, and I'll be the first one to acknowledge that, Lyndon B. Johnson established these social programs and they incentivized it for that to be the for black women, so therefore they won't need a man. They were incentivized to not have a man in the household because now they got these programs providing the same thing that a man would. All these different things, right? But Dr. Umar, you a conscious brother. How can you jump on stage and scream for everybody else to do the things that you're not doing? This is one of those things where we got to be careful of who we put on a pedestal, the people that we worship. We got to be very careful with this, very careful with it.
Racism is about the system of racism
That's a
that
lie.
controls opportunities and resources, Sister Tammy. Racism is not about the attitudes.
Tammy, that is not true. This is why we have to we must get to know ourselves so that we can overcome that fallen state. Dr. Umar is evil for putting out a lie like that or lies like that because people are going to believe in
Let's
it.
refrain from calling people names.
Ew. Sorry to interrupt the video. We got a new challenge. 20,000 by the end of April. We fell short in March, but we're gonna get our goal this month. Thank you all in advance for those that are gonna continue to like, subscribe, maybe even leave some comments and let us know how we're doing. And on that note, let me let y'all get back to the video and I'll see y'all soon. Ew.
Okay,
Reverend
but
Jesse.
he's not telling the truth.
We have to refrain, Sister Tammy, but at the same time,
He is
I
evil.
think it's important that we understand the difference between the Negro and the coon. Sister Tammy, this is a very important distinction that has to be made. The Negro is innocent in his ignorance, Sister Tammy. As Brother Michael said earlier, some people make mistakes against the race unknowingly. You're right. So Umar, you know how important a father is in the household. You know how important a two-parent household is. Why your daughter get on camera talking about you never gone to a birthday party? And then you respond on camera like you're arguing with a random influencer and you're having a public spat with your daughter on Instagram or on social media, YouTube, whatever you put the video out on. So if you know better and you haven't chose to do better and you said that that's the definition of a coon, then what does that make Umar? What does that make you, Umar? Everybody is out here talking, and this is why it always goes back to what Quee says, be the change. This is why I always have to remind myself, and life sometimes does it, even if I'm not inviting it in. This is why I get humbled in a lot of ways. I'm being totally honest with y'all. This is why I get humbled, and this is why it's good to get humbled and allow yourself to be humbled. I don't like the definition of humbled. I kind of told y'all that before, but in a lot of ways, it's like you could jump on here, you can give all the advice, but the humility of being able to call yourself out on not behaving and living a certain way of life to the fullest that you're preaching to everybody else to live, that's a problem. That's a problem. I was just having a convo, and maybe y'all can relate to this as well, where I was talking to my bro Pete, and we were talking about his medical practice, and we were just talking about different sports, different teams. If the person, the leader doesn't have to be the best player on the team, in my opinion. The leader does not have to be the best player on the team. The CEO does not have to be the best at marketing, and finance, and whatever else, in operations. They don't have to be the best at all those things. They have to manage all those people. But in my opinion, what they do have to be the best at is embracing the overall culture that they are pushing to their community. Embracing the overall culture that you're pushing to your community. So is Umar doing that? I don't know. You make a mistake against the race unknowingly. That was a Negro. Negroes are innocent.
I'm not gonna watch this.
They think.
Hold on.
Put Shaq up on there, but not.
Pass a law.
There's somebody I'm missing.
Michael, it's time to stop asking for freebies.
There's somebody I'm missing really bad, and I can't think of him. Shaq. I could put Shaq up on there, but not quite. I think somebody earns it more than Shaq. And I could put Candace Owens up there, but I even think somebody owns it more than Candace. I think Candace.
Yo, one thing you can't say is he is not a character, bro. He is entertaining. He's entertaining. He's entertaining. You know what? You know what I just realized? And I may regret saying this. What Gavin Newsom is to the Democratic Party, Dr. Umar maybe to the black community, bro. What Gavin Newsom is to the Democratic Party has no problem. Like, Gavin Newsom jumped on TV talking about the Democrats. They have a toxic brand right now. Talking about they. I don't even know if he really said they. I think he said they. But making it seem as if he's not the main one pushing it. Like, he's not the number one woke ideology, like LGBT, all of it across the board to the extreme and most radical ways. That's Gavin Newsom. You think about California when you think about these things. I know we make fun of Tim Walz in Minnesota, and putting tampons in boys' bathrooms, but over the last 5-6 years, like, it's been Gavin Newsom. But Gavin Newsom will jump on and act as if he has absolutely nothing to do with it. This is what Dr. Umar is when it comes to the black.
I could put Candace Owens up there, but I even think somebody owns it more than Candace. I think Candace go up there, though, because Candace been cooning.
Thoughts on the Confederate flag? I do not see a problem with people whose family members died fighting for that flag to be able to wave it high. It is historical. And the idea that your son or daughter went and marched in a war, people are just so stupid. They think they were fighting for slavery. Those people who fought were piss poor. They never had a slave a single day in their life. They fought for the South, and their sons signed up, went to war, and now they're told that even having the flag or having any pride for their dead relatives is something that is wrong.
The Confederate one is tough, bro. Didn't we just talk about this? We just talked about that Confederate flag, man. You know what? Maybe there just needs to have a conversation. There just needs to be a conversation. Perhaps we just need to have a conversation and have people that wave that Confederate flag sit down with people that it may be offensive to. Like, I would love to sit down. What I love to, I feel like I've had conversations with people in the past. This is when I was on my Dr. Umar heavy, right? This is probably about 2013, 14, 15. Perhaps there just needs to be a conversation. Hey, this is how this makes me feel because of these things. Well, this is why I stand on it, because my grandfather, my great-great-great-grandfather, whatever it is, died in the, you get what I'm saying? Maybe there just needs to be a conversation. The Confederate one is tough. I don't know. What about y'all? And this is to the point that when we were talking about America, whether or not America's great, or if America has ever been great, and how it's so easy for people like Dr. Umar. Let's be real. This wasn't the conversation that we were having a couple weeks ago, but we brought it, we talked about it, and I'm going to remind y'all. It was thinking about how, as racist as we will believe that America is, we pick and choose the causes of the Civil War based on whatever fits our particular narrative or argument at the time. And what do I mean by we pick and choose what was the cause of the Civil War? Sometimes we'll sit here and say, well, Abraham Lincoln freed the slave. Well, then we have to go and look at, well, Abraham Lincoln, I believe, allegedly also said that he would keep slavery if he was able to preserve the Union and do the same thing. If he was able to preserve the Union while keeping slavery, he said he would, allegedly. So a lot of people will discredit the fact that it was over slavery. But then when it comes to the Confederate flag and people rocking that, will say, nah, you're rocking that because y'all fought for slavery. So I know two things can be true at the same time, but in my opinion, if it was over slavery, then a good reminder for us all, maybe, especially when we have the Dr. Umars, which are going to be pushing more of the victimhood and more of the racism and all this other stuff. Maybe a good reminder is that, or maybe what we should all do is look up how many people actually died fighting against it and remind ourselves that people decided to risk their lives to fight for something. And I guess a lot of people would say that it was over slavery. So that's a good thing. Maybe that's something good that we should celebrate more. Maybe we should celebrate it during Black History Month, all the white people that died for us in the Civil War. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Dr. Umar gonna give me an award. I'm just trying to win my award. That's
and dirty and backwards and racist and associated with slavery. People are so ignorant about slavery and the numbers on slavery. I mean, the idea that everyone had slaves in the South is so stupid. It was the incredibly uber wealthy. People believing that everyone today had a yacht. I mean, it's just so, I'm just gonna stop ranting about it. The answer is people should be allowed to keep their Confederate flags and wave them because it represents an element of history.
Barkley, Jesse Lee Peterson, Supreme Court Justice Thomas, Candace Owens, and my fifth one, I know it's somebody I'm leaving out. Damn. I can't think of that fifth one. Or it's somebody big, now on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of them. We got a big coon out there. It's a real big influential coon out there, colorblind. Who is it?
I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna have to meditate on that one.
Oh, and it went right into my girl. All right, so let's switch it up. We're gonna switch it up. Let me hide that on the screen. All right, we're gonna move into this video that I saw about this fencer taking a stand, and then we'll get into. Matter of fact, it's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.